Hi everyone, Jennifer here. Before this week's video begins, I just want to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. I received hundreds of comments this week about Gatsby, and I just love you all so much. You are such a big part of my life, like a family. You know, you're so supportive and you're really there for me, and I really appreciate that. I'm still going through a bit of a hard time with it. I can't talk about it without crying. So, you know, for those of you who don't know, my dog passed away, he died, and I'm just trying to, you know, get on with life now, which is really hard. And yeah, I'm a little bit depressed about it. I'll be really perfectly honest. So I don't feel like working at all, but you know, obviously life has to go on. So I'm going to keep doing these videos, and I know that, you know, over time everything will heal. So I just want to say thank you for your comments. I mean, I was just blown away by everyone who reached out to me. So I just appreciate it so much. Thank you. Today I'm going to be giving you an anecdote about looking presentable always. It's one of the topics that I write about. And it's a topic that I feel that I can't discuss enough, especially as every day that we are on this earth, just people are rapidly losing their sense of dignity, becoming more casual. They don't care how they express themselves, they don't care how they're perceived, and they don't care how they present themselves. And I know that a lot of you notice that. I'm sure you notice it. I know you do because you write to me and tell me that you notice it. So I just wanted to give a quick anecdote today about something that happened this summer with regard to looking presentable always. So we moved into our new house this summer, and that has been a wonderful thing. And we've moved in, and you know, over the past few months we're just getting organized and getting everything unpacked and just settling into the new house. There was one morning where I think my husband had taken the girls out somewhere, and I was going to be alone in the house, and I didn't have anything to do, and I was going to have hours to myself, right? So this was in the morning, and I remember thinking to myself for a brief moment, oh, should I change out of my pajamas? You know, even I have these thoughts, obviously, it's just human, you know. Should I change out of my pajamas and, you know, get dressed and do my hair and whatever? And for a brief moment, I thought about just staying in my pajamas. So I thought about that for a brief moment. And then whenever I have those thoughts that are the antithesis of the Madame Chic philosophy that I teach, of course, within a few seconds, I remind myself, Jennifer, we can't do that because you write about this stuff, you know. I thought to myself, okay, no, I'm going to get dressed. So I quickly put on a dress. I think I wore my APC linen dress. I did my hair really quickly, and I just put on some light makeup, and the whole thing took like 5 minutes, honestly. And that's the great thing. Once you get into the routine of just making yourself look presentable, it's not high maintenance at all. It does not take long. It's just a small amount of effort, right? So even though I had nowhere to go, I was going to be in the house and no one was going to see me, I decided to do this. So right after I do this, you know, I'm down in the kitchen and I think I'm cleaning up after breakfast, and there's a knock at the door. I think, oh, who's that? You know, maybe the delivery man or something. And I go to answer the door, and it's our next door neighbor, you know, our new neighbor. It's this lovely woman, and she had baked us brownies to welcome us to the neighborhood. And I was so happy, obviously, that I got dressed. And this was at about 10:30 or so in the morning, you know. So I, you know, invited her in. I was able to invite her in with confidence and just talk to her and get to know her. And she's such a lovely lady. But I was just laughing to myself afterward, thinking, I'm so glad that I wasn't in my bathrobe when I answered the door. You know, that would have been awkward. Then I couldn't have invited her in really, because I would have been uncomfortable because I wasn't dressed properly. So I just thought that you would appreciate that little anecdote. You never know what your day will bring you. You never know what's going to happen, who you'll see. And even if you don't see anybody, it's just good for morale. You know, the past week and a half, I've been really depressed about Gatsby passing. I haven't felt this way in a long time, just very sad. And normally that's when people buckle in and they just let it go, and you know, they don't get dressed. They go around in sweatpants or in their pajamas, or you know, and that's okay if that's how you grieve. But for me, I have found it to be comforting to still put myself together every single day and just not go down that slippery slope. So, of course, I can't judge how people grieve. So you all grieve in different ways. But I have found personally that, you know, to maintain myself, to maintain my dignity and trying to look presentable has been something that has helped me. It's been a positive thing. I write about in the Madame Chic books how Madame Chic herself did not have an off day when she was wandering around the house in sweatpants or never changed out of her pajamas. It just did not happen. And it's not because she never had sad days or she was never sick or anything. It was because, and I really believe this, that if she had let herself go like that, it would have made her feel worse. And I'm at that point where I feel the same way. It would just, you know, I want to feel better, so I'm going to try to make myself, you know, look presentable every day. So that is my anecdote for you today on Look Presentable Always. I would love to hear from you, and you have the best stories. I love your stories. Please keep sending them to me. Tell me about your anecdotes with looking presentable always. I have a lot of people who say, oh, Jennifer, you know, I'm sending out, my new book is coming out and I'm sending it out to people. And I've had some friends and colleagues say, you know, Jennifer, I was reading your book and I realized I was in sweatpants while I was reading it. So I changed. I love when people tell me that. That is just a great story. Let me know what your stories are with looking presentable always. What do you think about how people present themselves today? You go out in public and, I mean, I'm shocked with what I see. I'm going to do a lot of videos about this coming up because I think it's important. It's not just a superficial thing. It's not a style thing. It's so much more than that, I think. So I'm going to be doing a lot of videos in the future coming up about this. But this week I'd love to hear from you. What are your thoughts on looking presentable always? Do you have any stories to tell us? Let us know in the comment section below. And I will see you next time on the Daily Connoisseur. Bye.